So who are you?
My name is Eric Gries, and I'm the CEO of Lucid Imagination. Joined my co-founder, Mark Ornstein, and we launched the company in January 2009. I was drawn into this this field because my background early on in my life, I was in databases. Yeah. Worked as a software engineer, as a computer scientist at a company called Colonet Software, which is one of the early database companies in the world, and part of the team of building the relational database, actually.
Very cool. I wanted to meet with you because I'm getting around the industry and understanding how databases are changing underneath all the services we see and love. And you guys are using Lucene, and Lucene's an open source database search engine, right?
Right. So it's not. So Lucid Imagination. First of all, we are the commercial entity of Lucene and Solar. Yeah. Lucene is the 15th largest open source project in the world, and this is enterprise search. Yeah. In other words, the software allows you to search within the enterprise, regardless of what the format. It's not limited only to databases, to anything.
And it's used by Yahoo and
this is right
Netflix,
now used by, if you are looking at enterprise search kind of software, Lucene and Solar are going to be number 1, number 2 on your list right now. So you have Netflix search is this, LinkedIn, MySpace, Federal Express baggage tracking, Nike, Zappos, the intelligence community. I mean, they're all using Lucene and Solar. The key here to understand is this is, and this is the differentiation for database. Actually, enterprise search is the next generation, from our perspective, of databases. Yeah. What it meant to do, enterprise search, it's the ability to provide you with accurate information in a timely manner. Yeah. That's what you want to do with search. Actually, that's the genesis of databases. Databases started with that in mind. But these days, it's just impossible. Yeah. Too much information coming from, most of it is unstructured. How many times you look in your email, right? So the old way of taking all the information, put it in wonderful buckets, and then put joins, select statements, SQL statements, just can't do it anymore. Now, databases going to continue to have their place in the world, but very specific application. The search is the next one. And actually what we see is that enterprise actually looking for what consumer already got. Yeah. So you sit down in front of your computer and you're Googling. Yeah. And you find information and you don't care where it is. The same thing the enterprise wants. So employee of a company wants to find an expert inside the organization. They just want to type what kind of expertise they're looking for, and it can be a Fortune 100 multinational company, and you might find an expert in a different country on the subject that he's looking for. Yeah.
So what's the difference between Lucene and Solar?
Okay, so Lucene is, the way to look at these two things is, Lucene is more of a class library. Yeah. That one, a very powerful one, that one needs to write program to activate it. Right. Solar is kind of the server of Lucene. So took it into the next level and make it a bit easier and more straightforward to implement a search application. Yeah. Okay.
And these are open source projects. I know I met Doug Cutting up in Napa who started Lucene, right?
Right. Doug started Lucene, and Yonik Seeley, who is part of the company, he's the creator of Solar. What we're seeing in the past 2-3 years, few things happening. First, the software just became really good. You know, most of the downloads right now we see it coming on the Solar side, just because it's easier to implement. Although when you're looking for a specific embedded application, Lucene is very good. But you know, and the number of downloads is just increased dramatically over the past 2-3 years. We see more than 10,000 downloads per day of the software. And a few drivers here. One is search, the ability to find information. I mean, the search industry is just doing well. All the players are doing fairly well. Yeah. You know, so that's the driving force. People just too much information. It's all over the place, and they're looking for just I want to find it, and I don't care if it's a PDF or a database entry or Excel spreadsheet or whatever. I just want to find it.
So is this a replacement for SharePoint, or is it an adjunct to? Because a lot of companies have SharePoint, right? And that's sort of how I remember working at Microsoft and other places, and that's sort of how you did search, but it wasn't very satisfying. So.
No, SharePoint is with all due respect, is a control point.
Yeah.
Is trying to get people to congregate around very specific piece of software that provide control to the provider of that software. Search is actually more horizontal. So you don't care where the information is. It doesn't have to reside in a specific location. Yeah. So that's actually is much better usage than a SharePoint-like. SharePoint, again, going to have its usages, but you need, this is a control point. This is a area where everybody going to come into.
Yeah.
When you're doing search with Lucene or so, you don't need, it can be, some of the information can reside in your email. And if I have permission to look at this, I can just find it. And I don't need you to move it to SharePoint and do some formatting stuff, you know.
Interesting. How do I know I need Lucene? What would be a good problem that I would, that a corporation would have that they now need a search engine? What kinds of things are you seeing people come to you with, you know, problems?
So what we see is that's an interesting question. It's coming from all direction. Search, we had, I believe it's what IDC that says the search is the new user interface. Yeah. I mean, so it's just, that's what people are looking at, this beautiful window that you just type what you're looking for, it goes and it's find it. So what we see as the commercial entity with Lucene and so is people that using search as a mission critical application. And that's what's the last 2 years, the software became really good, more and more organizations using it. Companies like Nike, like Cisco.
Can you give me an idea of what some of those companies are using it for? What kinds of projects they're working on it? How would you see it if you worked with one of those companies?
They're using it for a variety of ways. And without naming any names, because we signed quite a bit of agreements in place, but you know, some companies are using it to present it to their distributors, to their retailers when they're ordering stuff. Other companies, we see another customers of ours who are building actually an expert system, looking for expertise. This is a multinational Fortune 100 company who are looking for expertise around the world, and that's the system that allowed them to do that, you know. Another one looking for competitive information, sharing competitive information among employees. 80% of information exists within enterprise. Employees don't even know about it. Yeah. And that's, I'm quoting, I believe, IDC again. Yeah. You know, so we see them coming from all directions, presenting it to a customer who's looking for products. You know, so company, you know, Sears, Macy's, you know, all of our customers, they are more looking to present and making sure the customer find what it is. Zappos, another one. So we don't have really specific is. The key for us is when it's mission critical application, then they looking to connect with organizations like ours who made it easier and predictable interface for the open source software.
Right. Since it's open source, why do we need you? Why can't we just download it and use it without paying anybody? You know, how do you make money?
So first of all, is just to make sure this, we are still and we're going to continue to be major contributors to the open source, and we're supporting it. Our guys are on it, and that's valid. And when somebody needs just the software and does not require a stable, consistent interface with anybody, the open source is a good solution. Yeah. When you have a mission-critical application, in other words, application that you make money from or your business depends on, then you probably want a more stable and predictable interface. Yeah. And that's what we bring to the table. So we have, for example, our certified distribution, which we package everything. We make it easier to start an application. We have an installer in there. We had a reference manual, and it's all coming for free from our website. And people can take it and make it easy to build applications. Once you sign a subscription with us, we also continue to make sure that as new bug fixes and things, you start treating it a very predictable way. Yeah. And that's what customers that, again, using search as a mission critical are looking for. Yeah. You know, and that's why some of the companies that I mentioned are right now our customers.
Yeah. Do you have any internal help? So if I need help architecting system or have some problems, can I call you on the phone? Is that
yeah. So we did is the way people are. Our business model is subscription. So people subscribe to our to be with us, and it's a whole gamut of all the way from entry level standard kind of support, all the way to an architectural help, in which we can help to the architectural stuff. We also have providing value-added software packages. These are commercial software packages. For example, if one looking for multi-language support, we incorporated the open source versions, but there's also commercial packages that if somebody wants, then we integrated it and they can just buy it. Spell checking is very important in search.
Yep.
So we included the open source spell checker. But if somebody wants something more robust or more commercial, we also have a commercial offering on this. So they can have all these file formatters, you know, you have Lotus version something that you want to connect to, so you can get, you know, download from our site. We have hundreds of those file formatters that we partners with, you know. So these are all add-on, these are all things that one can do with us. We also created a very, very rich content site. So we did few things. If you go to our site, there's tons of information there to help you to create an application, to you know, enhance your application. White papers. We do webinars on a monthly basis, in which we are a lot of the community involved in this. Literally hundreds of people coming in, and we helping them. You know, we depend. The webinars are targeted to either entry-level people start doing it, all the way to experts. Yep. You know, yesterday we had one mastering solar, which Yannick actually was doing it himself, and you know, this is for the more, you know, advanced users.
Yep.
We also did, since we are a search company, we also created a search application.
Who knew?
Who knew? And we actually indexed the whole Lucene world. So when you're looking for any information about Lucene in the World Wide Web, you go to the site that's over there and you just type in what you're looking for.
Now, how did you build that? Is there a spider that you told it to go and look
for
information?
Right,
a crawler?
That's a big craft. I mean, building a such application, which brings me to the other point, but it's a whole craft that our guys actually did it. And you know, between having a good search knowledge and the people that we know, Lucene and Solar, that we just kind of were able to do that, and we keep updating it and all the time. But that's bringing me to the next step, which is why organization connecting with us is building a search application, good search application, is challenging. Yeah. This is not something that, you know, the weak of heart can do real quickly. Many things can go wrong, and you don't even notice of it. You know, you really have to match user expectation and data availability.
Yes.
And making sure that these things are connected to each other. Example to give you is if I'm a layman and I'm just looking for a heart attack, I'm not going to find many things, because most medical professionals are not using the word heart attacks. They're going to use other words which are more medical words.
Cardio something.
Cardio something or whatever. So, you know, the system, I need to teach the system and make sure the system understands when somebody has a heart attack, that's what's translated, actually giving the relevant information. You know, so there's a lot of things can go wrong in this. It also requires constant tuning. Yeah. In the organization, information coming and going, information getting older, information getting newer, you know. So if you don't take care of it all the time, it's kind of going out of whack. Things about products, in and out, or whatever. So the complexity of it, again, coupled with the fact that it's mission critical application, that's give people to connect with us. If I may, just one word about our team, because I think it's very unique, actually. What we did is, of course, we have the majority of the key players that, you know, developing, contributing to Lucene and Solar and to all those sub-projects. But we also complement them with search gurus. People that came from search. And that combination really help our customers.
People who worked at Alta Vista
so we have Mark Ernstein, who actually was the founder of Northern Light.
Yep.
Later on became the CTO of Dell, who was one of the largest search company in the world, probably, with LexisNexis and all this division. He knows most of the things there is to know about search. We have also Brian Pinkerton. Brian is the guy who wrote probably one of the first search engine, period. And he was later on the VP of engineering at Excite.
Yeah.
And he's looking, so the combination and of course we complemented with Yonik Seeley, who's the creator of Solar, Grant Ingersoll, who is the chairman of the PMC committee of Lucene, and others. This kind of combination is wonderful cross-pollination. And we continue to get the open source, the Lucene and Solar open source better and better, and with the knowledge of the search in general.
Yeah. What are you seeing changing about enterprise search? What trends are you seeing happening, and where do you think the next year or two is going?
So the first thing is the software just became better. That's what the first thing is. A lot of some of the enterprise search software was written quite some time ago.
Yeah.
And in recent years it become better and better, and new companies just became with better software. Also, Lucene and Solar became as good or better than any commercial entity, specifically on 3 major items: on scalability, on performance, and relevancy. We have hundreds of benchmarks customers did and showed it. So you have now an open source software that is good or better than commercial offering, and here's the disruption. But what we see the whole market is, the search market is growing because of the amount of information that people are being bombarded with. And you have those mountains, and some of it is actually very useful, but it's reside in obscure places.
Yeah.
And you just want to go there and get it. And that's what's driving the whole industry. So you have software that became better. You have growing needs in the market of, I just want to find information. Again, think about, I usually challenge any of our customers as, your teenage kid probably can find easier information on the internet than you can find in your own organization.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And that's what they change. They just want to leverage it because there's a lot of good information there.
Yeah. What do you think about the trend in enterprises to put social feeds like Salesforce Chatter, social text, Jive? They're trying to get the corporation now to work like Facebook works outside, and that's going to create a new kind of search need, right?
Right.
Are you playing in that field at all?
Yes, we are, and we are. Some of our customers incorporating us, the Lucene Solar software, is part of this kind of a internal social and kind of a social gathering.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. I'm not sure one can just take a Facebook kind of a thing and just translate it into an enterprise. Enterprise works a bit different. There's different processes in place. There's different workflow in place. So, and we see people adjusting this to work for their needs, And search is a major component of it, of course, because it's the ability to find information. So, not just that, again, not just that you and I are connected inside the organization, but the fact that if I need specific information, I know that you have it or you know about it, and I can leverage this, or vice versa. That's what we see right now. So we start seeing some Facebook for enterprises, if you will.
Yeah.
That's not kind of.
In the last couple of minutes, I want to know who you think your competition is, and then what are the business fundamentals that are changing for you, for the business?
So the competition is usually commercial. The commercial entities are there. They are many years in business.
Mm-hmm. Like who? Like Dow Jones?
So you have companies like Autonomy.
Yeah.
Companies like Endeca. Google has Google Enterprise. To show you that this is a different problem to solve on the internet and the corporation. Google actually, it's a different code base.
Yeah.
So it's not the same code that they wrote for the internet.
Yeah, because internally you don't have a lot of links to things to study. That's the whole problem. I remember looking for SharePoint files and nobody would link. There's no bloggers who are linking to that SharePoint file, right?
Right.
You have to have a completely different approach to finding things inside the company than you would in the outside world. Outside world, there's a lot of twittering and linking and everything like that.
Well, your email doesn't have tags on it.
Yeah.
Your Word document doesn't have URLs on it. And these are two cornerstones that internet search engine actually leveraging to get relevancy and things like that. You don't have these things. So on the enterprise, you got to do, the algorithm is much more sophisticated. It's a much harder problem to solve.
Yeah.
And that's why the different thing is. What works for our advantage is that in open source, and I'm going to generalize, but in main open source, there's a point where the innovation engine, it just pick up steam so much that nobody can catch it. A wonderful example is Linux.
Yeah.
I still remember the days where there was a lot of complaints about Linux being, not scalable, security, lack of security, mainly from other commercial operating systems. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because the innovation of it is just so fast, and that's a, wonderful, powerful of the crowd getting in this. Lucene got to this stage, which again, in a couple of years, it's just the innovation of it and the quality of it became so good that really nobody can catch with it anymore.
Yeah.
I was very happy to say, when other commercial companies saying they have hundreds of engineers working on their software, I'm very proud that we have a few thousand engineers working on our software too. So it's a wonderful thing. The market is moving fast into this. We launched the company just last year, and here I am just about a year later, and name, as I mentioned for you, companies like Nike, like Zappos, like Ford, like eBay, like Cisco. All of them are customers. Yeah. And this is because it's the need. Is because they see how they can actually leverage this software to get into mission critical application.
And I remember you're getting, you just announced funding.
So we closed a Series B funding with Shasta Ventures. All the current investors, Granite Ventures and Walden International, participate in this one, and it's a $10 million round. And that's really continue to help us with our growth for the coming years. It's also showed much of the respect and the appreciation for what we achieved in the past year. This is a round that's really going to finance for quite some time right now. And we're happy to have Shasta joining us and also all the rest of them. So we have a good combination of Granite and Shasta, who know enterprise software, with Walden International, who are very experienced in open source, and kind of it's a nice combination.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much, and congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.